All right, so we are ready now to move into the sight word portion of our lesson. Before we get started with using the text, which remember we'll be using plant patterns, I want to go through and review our sight words first. It is important that you're doing this on a daily basis, which is why after my shared reading videos, I am going to also record a sight word lesson. As I mentioned yesterday, you guys remember that after lunch, we would always have 15 to 20 minutes where we would do a sight word study. And you would go to the word wall and read words, or you would pull out your sight word books or your decodables. You would work in your binder, tracing your sight words and reading them to myself, Miss Riley, or Miss Sample. And we obviously aren't able to do that anymore. So I think it's really important that you are reviewing your sight words. So this video is included in the longer version with the shared reading, and I will also upload it separately so that if you just want to practice your sight words one day, you can just log on and or go to the video and practice your sight words. Okay? So we're going to do my turn, your turn to go through and say the words. And if you know the words, you can say them with me when it is even my turn. Okay? So here we go. Was, will, into, said, have, of, off, my, jump, love, six, is, blue, red, what, do, you, and, help, did, like, to, I, can, green, see, the, little, has, on, big, made, by, or, let's, look, for, in, each, these, make, that. If you've been keeping up with your word wall at home, the new word that I added today was that. We just added that in our shared reading lesson that we did. So you can add that to your word wall too. If you don't have the materials, the resources, the space to make yourself a word wall, if you have flashcards, you can make these on flashcards and practice them, or you can take a piece of paper and write them down and cut them apart to practice them. However you do it, it's just very important that you do, because sight words or high frequency words are words that you are going to see very, very often in reading, and if you have them memorized, you will be a more fluent reader. Also, some sight words don't follow the rules. You can't sound some of them out. So you have to look at them and you have to know what they are, okay? So for our sight word study today, if you would open in your book to page 9, we're going to start there. Okay. So the first thing we'll do, I do, we do, you do. So I am going to model what I would do for my sight words here. So you guys have a paper copy at home, which means you have a highlighter, and you can pick up your highlighter and do this. I can't, because I have the real text and I don't want to write in it. So what I'm going to do is go through first, and I'm going to find all of the sight words that I know, okay? And then I'm going to make sure that they're written on the wall behind me, okay? So I see in, I know I know each, pink, color word, right? I know the, and I know white, okay? So let's see if I have all those. And if I don't have them, I'm going to add them right now, okay? So you would have went through and highlighted those. If I went too fast, which I might have, because this is the I do part, I'm just kind of modeling this for you. You don't really have to do this part with me. But if I went too fast and you want to highlight, I'm going to repeat the words again as I write them up here, okay? So in was the first one I found right there, in. And do I have in? I have in. So I added in yesterday. I already have that up here on my word wall. Or a, I have. Pink. So pink is one of our color words. I know that we had our color words up on the word wall at school. So I'm going to go ahead and write pink. So P-I-N-K. Why didn't I write it in pink? 2 reasons. 1, I'm following a color pattern with my word wall. The only one, remember I said I mixed up, was here because I ran out of space. I didn't have my other chart paper yet, so I just wrote at the top. So that's 1 reason. I'm following a color pattern. 2, I don't want you to just look and see that it's the color pink and know it that way. All right, I want you to be able to look at the letters and know what the word is, not the color. Okay, so pink and also the I see here, and white. And we don't have white up there yet, so I'm going to write white. So let's do a page together. So I did page 9. Go ahead and turn and look at page 10. Take a minute right now and point to the words on the screen if you don't have the text in front of you. If you do have the text in front of you, go ahead and highlight any of the sight words that you know. And even if it's not a sight word, it might be a fancy word or just a word that you know, go ahead and highlight it. Okay. Now I want to bring over my fancy words here because one of our fancy words pattern, okay, is on that page. Okay. So hopefully you've gotten a chance to highlight. I'm going to go over a couple of words. I'm going to read the page with you first, so you can read it with me. If you can't read all of the words, you should at least be able to read the sight words with me as I read. Okay, the sight words that you highlighted, because you should only highlight them if you know them. The sight words that you highlighted, go ahead and read with me as I read. Rows of tulips, all the same shade, make a single color pattern. Rows repeat the same colorful stripes. So one word I'm going to add is the word row. I'm going to just put row instead of rows, okay? That is more of a math word. We've seen that in math when we've taught this year. So I am going to add that to our word wall, okay? So let's see. So if you didn't highlight that before, go ahead and highlight that now. So we have row. Okay. We add an S to it. We make it rows. Of is another sight word. Of, which we have right here. Remember the difference between of and off. Of has 1 F, off has 2. Okay. What about this one? All. And I don't see that up there, so I'm going to add all to my word wall. So you're adding these to your word wall at home. If you don't have a word wall, you can do flashcards. If you don't have flashcards, you can just write these down on another piece of paper and practice them. Okay? So all, what else do we have? The, we already have up there, right? What about make? Here's made. Here's make. We added that yesterday. Okay. We have, there's rows again. We have the. Okay. This is a word that I'm seeing a lot that we could technically sound this word out, right? With our consonant vowel, consonant silent E. That we worked on a couple weeks ago. But I've seen this word now 3 times. I'm going to add that to my word wall. That word is same. So S, long A, says its own name, which means if we were coding in Saxon, we would put a macron over it. Same, silent E at the end. Again, if we were coding in Saxon, we would cross out the E because we do not hear it. Okay? All right, so here's what I want you to do. Is page 11, okay? So I want you, this is the you do part. On page 11, I want you to go through and highlight the words that you see that are words that you know, mostly sight words, but if there's other words you know, highlight those too. Either add them to your word wall at home, make flashcards, write them down on a piece of paper and practice them, whatever you want to do, that you're practicing these sight words every day. And I believe I mentioned in my video yesterday, I have plenty of sight word resources in our Google Drive folder that parents you can get on for your children to access to practice. There's poetry on there, sight word poetry. There's a list from the school district of all the words the kids should know from kindergarten through third grade, actually. Not just reading words, but math words, science words, social studies words. So like content area words like that. I did post a screen recording for how to access those. But as always, please reach out with any questions and I can help you with whatever you need. So thanks for tuning in.